welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another very exciting reading vlog for you guys today because today I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. And I feel like it's been a while since I've done like a normal 24-hour readathon where you read from like one time this day, same time the next day, and I'm excited to see how many books I will be able to read in this 24-hour period. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm certainly excited. I'm also doing this with my patrons. This is our very first readathon together and it's gonna be really fun. So let's first go over my very small TBR that I have for this readathon. I literally have 3 books that I'm planning on reading, and if I happen to get to more, that's great, but I'm only gonna commit to these 3 because 24 hours really is not that long of a time span. So the first one I have here is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This is the first book in the War of Lost Hearts series. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent a few weeks ago and I definitely liked it, but I didn't love it. So I decided I wanted to try picking up her other series and seeing what I think of this one. And I'm really excited about it. I don't know too much about this though, to be honest. I know our main character ends up, she's like an apprentice to somebody or something. Yes, oh, she's forced into an apprenticeship. And I think there's a romance, which I'm excited about. But honestly, that's all I know about this book. But I will let you know more as I read. And then the other like full book that I'm planning on reading is A Natural History of Dragons by, sorry, every time I say this title it confuses me. It's A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir of Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. Yes, this is a book about dragons. It's about a woman who studies dragons. And again, that's all I know, but I'm really excited about it. I've put this on many a TBR. Still haven't gotten to it. Also, like everybody else, I'm very into dragons right now, so I thought this would be a really good pick for this readathon. And then I do have a little graphic novel because obviously gotta get the different formats going, and that is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. I have this on my iPad and I will be picking it up whenever I feel like I need a little break from like my physical reading. This is my TBR, very excited about all of these. So currently it is 8:44. I have some reading sprints with my patrons that start in a minute because I do literally everything last minute. So the readathon will start at 9 a.m. today and it will end at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Just very excited to sit down and do some reading today. It's also supposed to rain, which I'm very excited about, which is why it's so dark at like 9 a.m. But I'm living for it. I love a good dreary day for a readathon especially. So I'm going to get into it. I'm not sure which book I'm going to start with. I'm leaning towards A Natural History of Dragons just because it's shorter, but we'll see. We'll see, and I will update you guys when I've made some progress. So it is currently 1 o'clock and I do have an update for you on A Natural History of Dragons. I have made it to the halfway point. I'm definitely not like as far as I would want to be in this book for the readathon right now, but I was like doing the sprints and we were talking and it was just like a really good time, so I'm not mad about it. But the other thing I'm not mad about is this book. Because I love this book so far. Oh my god. So basically you're following our main character Isabella, and the book opens up on her when she's rather young and you're kind of seeing how she got interested in like natural history and dragons specifically. And as the book progresses, you're seeing Isabella get older. So when she was 16, you kind of saw her coming out to society and trying to find a husband, because while this is like a fantasy world, I think it's kind of based off of like the Regency period, so there's a lot of like expectations put upon women and a lot of prejudices against women who want to like pursue natural history. So I thought like all of that was really interesting, and now we are following her while she is on her first expedition to go see some real live dragons up close. And it is so I love the concept of this book. I think it's great. There's so much information about like the dragons that are in this world, but also like the dragon research that has gone on in this world. And she frequently mentions like, you know, notable pieces of dragon information in like a scientific context, and like she references like works that people have done previously, and I love that concept, especially with mythical creatures like this. Like it's just so much fun. If you liked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, it's like very much this, but with dragons. And I love it so much. I also really like the way that this book is told, because it's kind of being told like, not in flashbacks, but it's like Isabella of the present day, as she's like this elderly woman recounting all of her adventures. And I love that format. I'm just enjoying this book so much. Like literally, I read the first page and I was like, yeah, this is a book that I'm going to love, and I absolutely have been so far, and I'm just very happy to report that. Something else I really like about this book is that there are like illustrations throughout the book of like places that they've been, or there's also illustrations of dragons if I could find one. Here's one of a dragon, which is just sick, and I love it. So yeah, this is going so well. I can't wait to see what the rest of this book is gonna hold, and this is also the first book in a series. I think there's like 3 books, or I could be very wrong, but I know there are like 3 books in this series, and I cannot wait to pick up the others and read those, because I know I'm going to have to. Successful start to the readathon. I'm going to go finish this up, and then hopefully I will start Daughter of No Worlds, and it's just going so well so far. So let's do it. So it is now 4 p.m. and I have indeed just finished my first book of the readathon, and I really enjoyed this one. I'm just so glad that I finally got to this, because I have literally put it on like every single TBR that I have done since I got the book, because I knew I was gonna love it. I just had to get myself to pick it up, and now that I've picked it up, I know that I love it. And it was so good. I will absolutely be continuing this series. I'm so excited. But I do think I got a little bit less interested in the story as this book progressed, but I still loved it, and I'm gonna give it like a 4 or 4.5. I'm not exactly sure on the rating yet. I will, I'll decide that at some other point in time. But there are just so many aspects to this book that I absolutely adored. The kind of academic side to it I really enjoyed. I liked our main character, Isabella. She's very much like woman in this historical fantasy whatever world, defying society's expectations of women, and I love that. Like, so many of my favorite characters fall into that category, like Emily Wilde from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, Veronica from the Veronica Speedwell series, what is her name? Audrey Rose from the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Like, those are my girlies. And I think Isabella has joined the girlies, you know what I'm saying? And I just really enjoyed like the structure of this book and kind of following Isabella through her life, and I'm sure throughout the rest of the series you will continue to see her grow older and like just grow as a person. I thought the way that this was told was really interesting, because like I said earlier, this is like a memoir written by Isabella as she is like elderly. So every now and then she would like pop in with this like commentary on the things that were happening and be like, oh, I would totally not do this now, and I kind of want to slap my younger self for doing this, which I just thought that was really fun. So this is a very strong start to my readathon, even though it took me like 7 hours to read. I'm just gonna, you know, try my hardest to stay up late tonight so I can make a ton of progress in Daughter of No Worlds, which is what I'm picking up now. And I'm very, oh, that's fun. Look at these. That's cool. But, oh, that's cute too. Anyway, I'm really excited to jump into Daughter of No Worlds because I really like Carissa Broadbent's writing style. It's just super easy to kind of like fall into and read, and that's what I'm needing right now because I'm really tired So I need something that won't be too taxing on my brain, and I feel like this is just gonna be a really easy read. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna jump into this. I think I'm gonna go downstairs, switch up the background a bit, and jump into this book. Okay, so it is now 8 o'clock, and I have indeed been reading Daughter of No Worlds for a while. I'm up to page 132, which is chapter 17, and I thought I could give you like some initial impressions on it so far. So I'm definitely liking this book, but I wouldn't say I'm 100% loving it, and I feel like the same thing kind of happened with Serpent in the Wings of Night, where like the first part of the book I was kind of like, okay. It was kind of like, you know, intro, getting to know the world, getting to know the characters, that kind of thing. And I feel like we're kind of past that point in this book, and I'm still not 100% into it. So basically this book is following our main character, Tisana, who at the beginning of this book, you see her as a young child being taken from her parents. I think her family was murdered. I don't remember. But considering it's a fantasy book, I'm gonna assume her family was murdered. And then there is an 8-year time jump where you see her when she is 21 and she is still a slave, but she just recently got enough money to buy her freedom. That whole situation doesn't exactly go very well for her, and she ends up having to like flee this city or country that she was living in. But she goes to this group of people called the Order, and they are an organization of magic wielders strong enough to destroy her former masters. And ultimately she wants to become part of this order to help out people who are in similar situations that she was in. But to become a part of this order, she needs to go through an apprenticeship. But unfortunately, all of the like willing participants who would take her on as an apprentice, booked, busy, can't take her. So she ends up with this guy named Max, who is described as a handsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the order. So obviously he's like, I'm not gonna train you. I don't care enough to train you. Get out of my house. But obviously that changes. They kind of start to develop like a reluctant friendship, and he does eventually start to train her, and that's kind of where I'm at in the story right now. And that, like, as a concept, I'm into. I think the whole apprenticeship thing is fun, and I also like the dynamic that sets up for a romance. So I think that aspect of this is gonna be good. I just don't know if it feels that different from any other like fantasy world that I've read about, that I'm like, wow, it's like, it's so new and different, you know? Because like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not far enough into it yet. I mean, I'm only like a fourth of the way through the book, but I just don't have many strong feelings on it at this point in time. I'm definitely interested enough to keep going with the story, and I do want to see how the romance shakes out, because I do like the dynamic between them so far, but I just don't know if any aspects of like the actual plot I'm like that invested in yet, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go read some more, and I will give you an update when I, just noticed that it does switch POVs at some point. That's fun. Actually, I'm really excited for that. Okay, cool. I do like a good dual POV, so maybe when we get to the dual POV, maybe I'll get more into it. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. At any rate, I will talk to you guys when I have an update of some sort. so it is a lot of hours later. It's 12:30 right now. No, it's 1 a.m. now. And I'm so tired. But I have made a lot of progress in Daughter of No Worlds. I'm up to page 395. And I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but I'm so bored. I just don't know. There's not a lot to this book that is really keeping me invested in the story. Like, I don't really care for the plot, and there aren't any like super interesting like unique features to this book that are like grabbing my attention and making me want to read this over like other fantasy books. I'm just not exactly vibing with this book, and that's okay. But the fact that I'm still planning to finish this tonight, not good. But I will say I do like the romance. I think the romance is really cute, but the romance is not the focus of the story, so I'm like, all right, like, what do I do now? But let's see. What has gone on? A lot of things have gone on, honestly. Like, we've definitely learned a lot of things about our characters. We learned a lot about their backstories, specifically Max's backstory. Like, a lot of that I was not expecting, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But, like, the stuff that's happening in the present day, I'm not invested in it in any way. And it makes me sad. I just don't know. Because I really like the two main characters, and I really like the scenes that they have together. I feel like they have really good chemistry, and I like the dynamic and how it has developed over the course of this book. But like the actual plot and like the magic-y things that are happening, I just like don't really care for. You know, and like some things have been mentioned that like I would like to see more about, but in the moment, I just can't get into it. And I don't know why, because I thought the plot of Serpent and the Wings of Night was so strong, and I thought the world that it was set in was also so cool, but where's the flavor in this book? I am getting nothing. Honestly, I probably should have DNF'd it, but I've been doing a puzzle for like the last 7 hours. Well, I've been listening to the audiobook for this, so I kind of just like kept listening to it. I was like, this is fine, but now that I've like sat down to read it, I'm like, oh, all right. Like, it's not a bad book. I just don't think it's for me. I'm gonna go. Okay. Plans. I'm gonna finish this, and I will let you guys know my final thoughts tomorrow morning before the sprints, and I'll talk about what I'm gonna read and whatnot then. So, yeah. I'm gonna go. Okay, so the readathon is officially over. It's actually been over for like 4 hours, but I'm just now filming this because I did take a moment to like update my journal and all of that. But let's get a quick recap on everything that I read. I also have a few updates for things that I have finished, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. So I feel like, I don't know if I would 100% consider this a successful readathon, because one of these books, and you already know which one, I was not really into, but also I think it was a pretty successful readathon because the other book I was very into, because I finished A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. I have a feeling that this is going to become a new favorite series because I absolutely loved it, which I've already talked about it, but I just had such a good time reading this book. The ambient, the dragons, the world, I enjoyed it so much, and I cannot wait to pick up the other books in this series. I'm so excited. Also, since the last time I talked to you, I did finish Daughter of No Worlds. Actually, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. I did finish this like 30 minutes after the readathon ended. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna rate this one, but I think it's kind of feeling like a low 3-star. It's not quite in the 2-star territory because I didn't hate it. I don't really have anything like specifically about this book that I didn't like. I just wasn't invested in it at like any point in time. And while I did like the romance in this book, I thought the interactions between our characters was really cute, and like how their relationship developed over the course of the book, I did enjoy. But there was nothing else about this book that was really pulling me in and keeping me like wanting to read more, so I don't think I'm going to be continuing the series. I might go sell this book on Pango this afternoon. You know, like, it's fine. It's a shame though, because this cover is absolutely stunning. I mean, look at her. Like, whoever does the cover design for these, hang on, let's find out. Ina Wong, yes, you icon. This is gorgeous, but obviously it would be dumb to continue the series just because of the pretty cover art, but I did want to mention it because look at it. But like, me and this book just didn't get along. I think if you like fantasy romance, you should give it a shot, because I can definitely see why people do like this book. I just couldn't get into it. And then I did get around to my graphic novel, The Moth Keeper. As for this one, I don't really have a ton of thoughts on it either, but I feel like for the most part with graphic novels, I really don't have anything like constructive to say. I'm just like, wow, the art style was pretty. Yeah. And like, it was really pretty. It follows our main character who is becoming a moth keeper. And it was really cute. Is that all I have to say about it? Maybe. I just really like Kay O'Neill's art style. I thought so many of the panels were absolutely gorgeous. But aside from that, I'm like, you know, it was good. I never rate graphic novels anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I would recommend if you're looking for just some nice art to look at. Let me count how many pages I read. I think by the time it hit 9, I was up to page like 450, so we'll just go with that. So that means I read 784 pages in this readathon. I would say it's like not as much as I hope to read, but honestly, I just wanted to like focus on having a good time, reading some books, sprinting with my patrons. That was really fun. And I got 2 books off my physical TBR. So I would say this was very successful. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. It's been a minute since I've done like a normal 24-hour readathon, and I kind of liked it. I feel like 24 hours always ends up feeling a lot shorter than I think it should be, but overall I did have a fun time just focusing on reading some fun books. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, please do let me know down below. Have you read either of these books? Let me know, I'd like to talk about it. What did you guys think of Daughter of No Worlds? I know a lot of people love it, and if you do love it, I'm so happy for you, but let me know what you think of it, or if you've read this book. We can also talk about this book, which I'm also very excited to talk about, so just let me know. And if you haven't read either of these, as always, just let me know what you guys are reading, how you guys are doing, literally anything you want to tell me. I'm all ears. Like I have mentioned a couple of times throughout the course of this video, I was doing this readathon with my patrons, so if you guys would like to partake in our next readathon, they happen 4 times a year. Theoretically, I mean, this is the first one, but I'm gonna assume they're gonna happen 4 times a year. I will have my Patreon linked down below. I also do like extra videos. We do a monthly buddy read. I do journaling content, all that kind of stuff. If you want to check it out, will be linked down below. But aside from that, that's everything. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.